though last night, because of the weather, because it were windy, I couldn't sleep. I slept on the bean bike last night with my feet up on the poof and covered myself up. But I was listening to all the strange noises because I'm not used to them. It sounded like Titanic when Kate Winslet's running through the corridor when it's filling up with water, and all those creaking noises are happening. I'm thinking, what is that noise? And I kept getting out and moving the inflatable thing that is like a cushion, because it was quite windy. The boat were moving about a lot, and it was kind of grinding on the side, and then the inflatable thing was squeaking as well, and that was kind of vibrating through it. But the ropes were creaking. Am I going to float off? So I kept going out and checking everything. I've gone out there at least 5 times. And I noticed that my lights had come on.
Oh, good. The solar bit for your lights, but it's not under the leaves now, is it?
No, it's not. It's not under the leaves now. But yeah, so the lights were on, so it looked nice.
Yeah.
And when I got out, I couldn't hear any of the noises, so I thought, oh no, everything looks okay. Get back in, and then I'd sit down, and then I'd start hearing them again. And it was just a bit of a worry.
It's noisier in the boat than it is outside.
Yeah. Well, it's not filling up with water. I haven't got a hole underneath and it's filling up with water or anything like that. So yeah, I was just panicking a little bit. That's the first time I've panicked. Well, not panicked, but slightly worried. Oh, I'm gonna have to get some more. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So 1 cup, and well, it's not a dish, it's a bowl, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're going to drink out of that?
I am. Like that. Like Oliver. Bloody hell, it's raining hard, windy, it's going to be... Oh.
I'm on a different boat. This is Janine's boat.
Sorry.
Well, you might as well put your head forward. Put your head forward and say hello.
Hiya.
This is Jan.
What did I do wrong?
No, you didn't do anything wrong.
All right, okay.
Nothing wrong. Just we're having a little bit of a chat. So, run the intro.
Have a sip of your coffee. Tell me what you think.
And the coffee. Oh. I'm hitting my head in all sorts of places. Oh, it's very nice.
It's good, isn't it?
What's it like out of the bowl?
It's better. It is better. It just adds to the experience. It does. That's why you get that if you go to a lot of coffee shops. That's what you get, except they're on a saucer.
What, with no handle?
Yeah. It's just a pausey thing. It
Oh,
just
it's different.
you feel like you're having something special if you haven't got a handle.
It is special. Lovely.
It is. Cheers.
And yeah, cheers. And this is very nice. And you put a bit of spot of
Rum.
something, rum.
Dark rum, yeah.
Cappuccino and dark rum. Viewers, if you want to get the opportunity of something special that Janine has concocted, it's very nice actually.
It is good,
Now,
isn't it?
I do have Irish whiskey at Christmas, which is like a spot of...
I can't drink whiskey.
But it's not bad in coffee. I'm the same, I can't drink whiskey. Not bad in coffee though.
Yeah, I've only had it twice. The first time I fainted, I literally did faint. I didn't have that much of it either. The last time I had it, in the middle of Gisborne Forest with my friend when we went in vans, I just fell over on my face just before I was going to Australia. So I had a graze right up my face and my chin and my nose and my head.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, lovely. It were nice.
So this is a cosy little boat, I have to say. And you've been on it how long?
Nearly 2 months. A month and a half, really. Because I were away for 2 weeks.
Okay, alright, so a month and a half then. Living experience. What's it been like? Month and a half living experience. What did you know about the canal life before you bought a boat?
Very little. I'm not going to say absolutely nothing, because I did watch a few things online.
Yeah.
And I've always walked. I used to run on canal, and I've always fancied it. I like it.
Oh.
I wanted to live on a boat from being a kid. My dad were in Navy, told me some romantic stories about it, and I just thought, oh, I'd love to live on a boat. So that's what I did.
Alright. And I can't knock it, really. Because clearly I'm doing it as well. But...
And I've come from my van, so I've more space, and also it kind of prepared me for, you know, an alternative kind of living, I suppose.
And you lived in it for how long?
3.5 years.
I'm just trying...
Nearly 4.
Okay. Did you have a job?
Yeah, of course.
What did you do?
So, I worked in homeless shelters and supported housing for people that didn't have a house to live in. You know, just sometimes people lose everything and it's through no fault of their own. So that's what I did, and I moved about to different ones. So it were perfect living in van, because I could just drive to where I were working, park up, and I'm there. And very often I were near seaside as well, so I could park near the sea. I could do like a few shifts all in one go, usually night shifts, and then I used to, because I worked for an agency, I could, if I didn't want to work, I'd take on some shifts and maybe save up a bit, and then I'd go somewhere for a little holiday. Just go to the seaside, or you know, go to lakes, or down south, go to Devon or Cornwall. Went to Cornwall not that long ago. That were nice. It's really friendly here.
Yeah, it's right. It's lovely here.
Berkhamsted. Yeah, everyone's jolly and happy and sunny.
Well, when the sun's out, but it's quite windy at the moment.
Yeah.
And I notice your boat rattling around in the wind.
Yeah. And
I noticed the amount of wind coming in your door.
Yeah.
So have you got some home improvements to do for the winter?
Yes, I have. I've got a roll of insulation in there. I've got to seal the door so that it doesn't rain in, because when it does rain in, which every time it rains it does rain in under the door, you can see daylight through it. So I need to sort that out, stop the rain and wind coming in. So I'm gonna fix that. I want to get some really nice heavy curtains, because they look good as well for the winter.
Yeah.
Kind of like something that Anne Boleyn might have.
Oh.
You know, like rich colours, heavy.
So you want a regal looking curtain?
Yeah, why not?
Well, yeah, I get it. And I'm just looking at the curtains you got now.
Oh, well, I think it'd look beautiful in my lovely,
yes. Yeah, I think it'd look lovely.
my lovely boat.
Yeah, and I can see yourself actually sat there on your, what is it, a bean bag with a poof.
Yeah.
In front of the fire.
Yeah.
You'll be toasty in here.
I know, and I love that stove. It is a gorgeous looking stove, isn't it? And it does get hot. I have lit it several times. In
the month and a half you've been on the boat when it's been summertime?
Yeah.
Is that just to get used to it?
No, when I first came on it wasn't that hot, so it was a bit chilly in the morning, and I like having a stove. So I lit it in the morning and I lit it at night just because it was cosy and it made me feel cosy and at home.
I've only been on my boat a year, and one of the things that I've noticed is loneliness, and I just want to, because you're on your own, no husband. Oh, you've lived on your van?
Yeah.
So
not on it, in it. I was in it. Yeah.
All right. Lived in van.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of thinking it's got you used to living by yourself.
Yeah, but I lived on my own. Well, I know I've got 4 children, so I was never totally on my own in the house. But I like being on my own. I enjoy it.
What about in the depths of winter when there's 16 hours of darkness?
Yeah, I love that. I do like it.
Do you?
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've always got my kids and grandkids to ring up and talk to, and my friends as well. I've got good friends. But I do enjoy being on my own, and I do enjoy kind of, like in the van, in the winter, when the pillow was stuck to the window with the ice, you know, and the condensation inside you cover, because you've covered your head up to go to sleep because it's so cold. I kind of enjoy it's kind of like a survival experience in a weird sort of way. I'm not saying my life's in danger or anything, but I like that feeling of a bit of hardship, I suppose.
Now here's me.
That sounds daft.
Well, I get it, and I think it's very good that you've done that, because whilst I've soldiered for nearly 4 decades, and when you're living in the field, you just accept it. But when you're living within something, I kind of like to be warm, and I found living on my boat, I had a lot of learning to do, because it's 66 foot, whereas yours is
38.
That's 38 foot end to end.
Yeah, and I've got a lot of outdoor space as well, haven't I?
There we go. So interior space.
Yeah.
Probably
24,
25 foot, something like that. I've got double your living space. So for me and my stove to heat that up, I found a challenge. Now, admittedly, I think when people say, "Oh, I'll be opening the windows and opening the doors because the fire's too hot," you might have that experience on here, which is not a bad thing. My only suggestion is, and you know it already, is you've identified where the wind's coming in.
Yeah, that door and the back door as well. No, I mean the front door and the back door.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to sort them out. Definitely.
Because otherwise...
Yeah. Well, I've got a big roll of insulation stuff there, which is what I cladded the van with. Even though it was insulated, there were a lot of windows in that van, and so I needed to use that insulation stuff's really good. So I'll do whatever it takes to keep warm.
But winter time, you've got a little bit of solar up here.
Yeah.
And you've told me that none of your electrics work.
The lights work, and I've got that socket there.
And that's it, no other socket works?
No.
So we need to sort that out, which reminds me I've got to get in touch with that fella.
Yeah.
Try and help you out there.
Yeah, that'd be great. But what will I use them for? I don't really need them. I know that sounds a bit weird to you, who's got, you've got loads of more cons and computer and stuff. I've only got my phone, that's all I need. I've got my stove to cook on. I don't need any other electric. I'm not saying it won't be good when, like when my grandkids come and stay with me eventually. Yeah, I will need electric at some point, but I don't feel like it's a hardship at the minute.
But you've not done winter.
I know. Why will I need sockets in winter?
Well, I don't know. And here's the thing: is kind of, you don't know what you don't know. And this is your first year. It's been my first year on a boat, and I'm sure the second year you're putting right all the stuff that you got wrong, or you've learnt throughout that period of time. And the least amount of electricity you can use in the winter is just saves your batteries. So, do you know how much battery power you got?
Of course I don't. Don't ask me those questions.
That tech question.
It's silly.
Okay. And you know, you got water tank, and how many litres of water does that hold?
Don't know, but I've never run out. I just top it up.
But I'm sure it's like this.
But I haven't got a shower, have I?
Well, you have got a shower.
Right. So it emerged after I bought the boat that the shower isn't actually plumbed in. It's just stuck on the wall. So he did con me.
So, young man, whoever sold Janine this boat, that's a raw deal, to be honest. That's not very good form. Oh, is there a shower? Yeah, of course there's a shower. And the assumption is that the shower works.
Well, he did say he had a shower every other day because he went to the gym.
Not from the frigging boat, though.
Obviously not. Obviously not.
Mate, have a word with yourself.
Yeah.
And you're conning someone, but actually not a very nice man.
It's a bit disappointing,
and
to say the least.
Ex-army, you should know better. That's a bit naughty.
You're right, it is. It is. It's a good job I've got a good sense of humour. It was very faulty towers when it came off in my hand. Yeah.
She stood there in the shower, turn it on. Nothing happened.
Yeah. No, well, something did happen. Yeah, it came off in my hand, and then I realised that it had never been used, and it wasn't even piped in. So yeah, I know. Very disappointing.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. However, you seem to be upbeat about everything.
I am. Yeah, of course. You've got to be, haven't you?
Yes.
That's all you can be.
Yeah, of course. So what do you do for your spare time?
I do art. So that's probably my main spare time thing, if you can call it spare time. I'm kind of semi-professional because I do sell my art, but it's not like a thing that I do all the time. People that ask me to do artwork want a portrait, so it's if I do art for myself, it's I usually get a body of work together and then exhibit it. But when people ask me to do stuff, it's usually portraits.
So what have you done that's proper good?
I've had children.
Okay.
That's proper good. All my kids are great.
Mm-hmm.
And my grandkids. I've written a book.
Uh-huh.
A children's book.
And you've had that published?
I have, yes, and I've written the next one. They're all to do, right, I want to do 6 books, so I got the first one published. I've written the second one, but I haven't finished illustrating it yet. But ideally I'd like to get 6 together, then I can have a little set of small hardbacked books, and they're all to do with Louis the House Rabbit. And I did send one to Kensington Palace, so Prince Louis got a copy of it.
How good's that?
I know, I got a letter back from him as well, thanking me, and I just thought, oh, that's really good. So, yeah, so the idea is that the book helps children to look after the pets and have respect for the pets. And I picked a rabbit because I think rabbits get a really horrible deal because they're stuck in hutches and they get hunted and poisoned and eaten. So I thought they were a really good example of an animal that gets abused.
That's a strong word, abuse, but I don't disagree with you.
They do. Well, they get neglected.
That's a better word.
But they also get shot and poisoned. If that's not abuse, I don't know what is.
We had a floppy-eared bunny.
Me too.
When my kids were small.
Yeah. I love my rabbit.
Yeah.
Monica were great.
Monica,
Yeah.
and I noticed your van's called Phoebe.
Yeah, I know. There's a Friends theme there.
Okay.
But I called her Monica because she was very fuzzy-eared.
Okay. All right. So, are you going to continue with your arty theme? I mean, you've got your books that you want to continue to do, and you're illustrating that. Is that a difficult process to get it published?
Well, I just sent it off to loads of publishers, and in the old-fashioned way, I literally sent paper through the post.
Folded up.
Yeah, well, in a big envelope.
Right.
They're like, what? What? They got in touch with me and said, can you send it like on a computer? So I did that somehow. I got, I don't know, I must have used my daughter's computer. Can't even remember properly.
But it's great though, isn't it? I mean, you're an artist, you've had a book published, you work with the homeless.
Yeah.
You've lived in a van for 3.5 years. Now you've got a boat, an interesting life, but it's completely different from the norm that most people have lived. Now, of course, you've lived house as well.
Of course, yeah. And yeah, it's expensive to live in a house on your own, and especially when you know, I just felt like I was spending all my money paying the bills and getting to and from work, when I could just change that and live in a van, and it would allow me to save up, and I could go and visit my friends that lived a long way away, and I could have holidays, and I'd have more money to spoil my family at Christmas and stuff like that, you know. I weren't skint all the time.
It's great.
Yeah.
I think there's a massive lesson there for all people. Well, I was talking to Dan and Sal yesterday, and Sal was discussing the fact that there's various people who are struggling to live, and they live in a nice house, and you know, the mortgages have gone up, and everything's going up, and quality of life, you know, fuel bills, household bills, food bills, everything's going up, and they're almost demanding handouts. Well, I know this might be a little bit harsh, but if you can't afford to live, downsize somehow or other. How many streaming services do you have? Get rid of them, because you don't need a streaming service. I only ever had council telly, and it wasn't until my kids were older, actually, and I had a second job, that I could afford something like Prime. So, you know, you got that as a streaming service, and it was like, oh Dad, can we get Netflix? No, can't afford it.
Yeah.
If you want all the stuff that you want to do, it's about prioritising, isn't it? And if you prioritise, you need to sacrifice. And I think that's a great lesson that you've kind of taken on, that a lot of people aren't prepared to do.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And as well, I just always felt like, well, you know, I look round at people my age, and they're like settling into old people's flats and stuff before they're even old proper. You know what I mean? I just thought.
So what's proper old?
80s.
Do you know what, again, what a great outlook.
But I'm hoping I'll still be reasonably fit. You know, it's not that far away, really.
No.
You know.
But it's not, is it? Really, it's not that far away.
Hang on a minute, it's 20.
No, it's not.
It is. I'm 62. That's a bloody long time, really. When you think back 20 years. I mean, I suppose time flies, doesn't it? But
it does.
I want to squeeze as much into my life as I possibly can while I'm fit enough. You know.
And you can do the locks and all that sort of stuff?
I have been learning a bit from going through the locks with you and other people, and yeah, I think I can do it.
But that's great. All I'm saying is, even for me sometimes, I am looking at my own health and how my knees are struggling a little bit, pushing against those.
I know, I'm not that heavy either, so it's hard to get it moving sometimes. So if I can't open it, I'll just wait for a big strapping bloke to come along and open it for me.
Great idea. Absolutely brilliant.
I'll ring you up.
No, hang on, I'll be there in a couple of months.
Yeah.
No, but you know what? That's absolutely spot on, because the boating community is quite helpful.
Absolutely, yeah, they're great. They are really, really helpful. Yeah.
I was talking to Amanda, who's another slightly
You're going to say old, aren't you?
No, yeah.
Why? You're obsessed with age. Stop it. Stop.
a senior person. How do you say it then?
Well, you don't need to say it, do you?
Okay. Amanda, who's another lady, lives on her own on a boat. That's exactly what she does. She waits and then waits.
Yeah, if I can't. Or what if I was a weak man on a boat? When I say weak, I mean not strong enough or heavy enough to push it open. Then you'd have to wait, wouldn't you?
No, do you know, you've got a point, because there's some guys I spoke to, and I was going to use the same term for them, older fellas, well past their prime anyway, and they're both, one in on each boat, both have got illnesses, one's proper ill and the other one's not too far off proper ill, and they must help each other through the locks. Because if they haven't got the strength to open the lock gates, there must be two of them.
But have you noticed, when you've got a couple on a boat, it's the woman who gets off and opens it, and the fella just poses on the boat, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, yeah, fair one. Look at the hard work I'm doing.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, do you know what, it's true. So it is nice travelling around with someone. So when you leave me and Dan and go north, which I know you're going to do, to go and see your family.
I've told them I'll get there in 6 months, if I'm lucky.
Well, there's a fella that I friends with, Dennis. He moved from Baxter's Boatyard, which is just north of Milton Keynes, and he's in Liverpool now. And he moved on the 20th of June.
Oh, that's good. But yeah, I'm new at it. It'll take me ages, and if I go through a couple of locks and then I moor up and knocking pegs in and everything, my hands are aching like mad. My hands must be starting to get arthritis or something. There's maybe it's just because I'm not used to doing it.
Yeah, probably.
And it takes me a day to recover.
Yeah, that's age.
You know what I mean?
I'm the same.
So I've got to wait. I can double the time that it would take a normal person.
Well, Dennis is 10 years your senior.
Yeah.
He does nine miles a day and then just stops. So he sort of programs his day for 9 miles. He kind of sets off about 2 o'clock. Okay, it's summertime. And there's parts where he does 12 locks or whatever it is, which is a fair. You don't have to do that. There's a guy. There's a guy called Christian further down south I'm going to meet up with. He does 3 locks. That's it.
Yeah, that sounds more my level.
Finished. 3.
Yeah.
But of course, we are early July, so Dennis is in under 2 weeks. He's kind of gone from Milton Keynes to. He's not entering Liverpool yet, but he's not far off it.
That's really good.
Yeah.
See, once I get up there, it makes a difference. I mean, it's a bit like another world when you're on canal anyway, isn't it? Even if you're in an area that you live, being on canal, it's a bit like being on a train. It's like like a secret world, isn't it? That's kind of away from all the roads and what you're used to. It's like a different path. It's a bit weird not knowing where you are. I can look on a map and go, oh right, I'm that far from London, I'm an hour away from Debbie's, in Hartford, and you know what I mean. But once I get up to Liverpool, when I want Leeds Liverpool, I'll know where I am then.
Right.
You know.
Geographically.
Yeah. So I'll be able to think, oh, I'll be there next, or I'll be there in a day, or that kind of thing. Here, not that I'm not worried or anything. I don't feel like I'm lost or out, but even though I am, really, you know what I mean. It's just a funny feeling being in a place, a strange place, I suppose,
yeah,
so far away from the place that you're used to.
From your roots.
Yeah,
I get it. If I was living up there, well, one, I'd need an oxygen mask because it's so far north. I don't know how you lot breathe up there, to be honest, without oxygen masks. Because I talk differently to everybody else up there, I would feel like an alien, even though I'm in my own country.
No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't.
Well, it's not.
I don't feel like an alien here.
My eldest son lives in Manchester, so I want to sort of kind of go a little bit further north.
Yeah.
But you know, I've got 3 kids down this way.
Yeah.
That need a bit more parenting. I know their mum does a fantastic job, but you know, I need to see him a bit more often. And whereas my other 2, one's lives in the Middle East and one's in Manchester, and don't necessarily need dad.
I know, it's a funny one, isn't it? When that's another reason. When I got the van, I just thought, like I said before, that I didn't want to. I realised that I was kind of waiting for my kids and my grandkids to come and visit me. That was my role, because when you've been a mum or a dad that's always been there, you know, you kind of automatically move on to being a grandma that's always there, and you just that cushion for them to come. You want them to come and see you, and you that maternal thing. I didn't want to turn into someone who just constantly just did that, and there were one person in particular I was talking to not that long ago, and she was like, oh yeah, I look after all my grandkids now. So she's gone from being a mum to a childminder to looking after her grandkids full time. She doesn't do anything else, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I love looking after my grandkids, but I want more in my life than just.
Do you know what? I get it, but you can see that person's thought process, because what she's doing is helping out her family survive, because it's granny daycare, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because
and it's lovely doing that.
Yeah.
And I did it a lot for my first 2 grandsons. I was there every day, and I would have happily have given up my job and looked after them. But you know, after 6 grandkids, you think that's going to be your whole life.
Yeah.
You just be at home looking after children,
and then you're too old to do anything.
Constantly. Yeah. And I want to be able to, create a life where my grandkids will want to come and stay with me, but it'll be a really interesting life that they can come and share, rather than me just being in an house.
Yeah.
There's more to life.
There is.
You know.
Mind you, I have noticed here, boats go a lot slower.
Yeah, that's quite slow, but is it big?
No,
it
not
moved
really.
The boat a lot, that, didn't it? It's because you're sat over there.
No, well, honestly, for a boat this size, you weren't smashing against the wall.
No, it's alright, but I've got that big inflatable thing outside as well.
Yeah.
It's a big cushion. It is like a space opera, isn't it?
Yeah.
I need about 6.
Is that for you, bashing around when you're steering?
Yeah.
The boat's going one direction and it goes another. I mean, you'll get it. I
watched a fantastic video of this bloke reversing, and it really helped me. And it helped me to realise that they're all really difficult to manoeuvre when they're going backwards as well.
Yeah.
But he were really good, and so I understand better. And it depends what way your propeller goes, because they're not all the same.
Okay. Explain.
Well, some go clockwise and some don't.
Which way do they go? Anti-clockwise, perhaps?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's yeah, and that makes a massive difference as well. As like, because I couldn't work out which way you put your tiller when you, because I kept getting different answers when I was asking the question. You were really vague when I asked you.
And do you know why?
Just because you wanted me to work it out myself.
No.
And it was very irritating.
Okay, well, that's fair enough. I'm an irritating type of guy. But I have a bow thruster.
Right, what's that?
Well, it's one of those things on the front of the boat which is underneath the hull. And when I want to steer or go in the locks, you might sometimes hear it. And the front of the boat, the bow, is moving either left or right. Those little tweaks that I do when I go into the lock. Whereas when I'm reversing, I don't worry about where the tiller's going.
Right.
Because the bow steers as long as I'm going backwards, the bow. So that's why I'm vague, because I just don't know.
Right.
Oh, I've got a bow thruster, makes it easy.
Yeah.
But
Anyway.
things like turning round. I mean, you've got this is a gift of a boat to turn round.
Well, yeah. We can just do it with a rope.
Yeah, do it on sixpence. Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah.
The only annoying thing is that I've got that really short rope at the back that I have to keep swapping sides with. I need to get another one.
All right. So as you go north, you'll go through Cosgrove. I'll give you his number. There's a guy called Mick.
Okay.
He makes ropes and all that ropey type stuff. You know, like your back, what goes on the front of your boat, the front button and your back bumper.
I'm going to make one of them.
Okay. But Mick does it, and he's quite cheap.
Okay. Yeah, I watched a video, and it's not that hard to do. You've just got to be patient, and I am. So, and I will be able to do it because I can make things.
Wow.
Yeah.
How good's that?
I know. And I watched a really good thing the other night about you know how many nettles there are on canal. You can make rope with nettles. Have you seen it?
No.
It's really good.
Okay, I'd rather go to Mick.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, I don't mean thick rope, like, you know, that kind. But
Yeah.
for like a short, if you need like a short rope for fasten your things on side, you could use nettles. They're really strong.
Okay, I'd rather go to Mick.
All right.
What? I don't necessarily say, well, Janine, you're talking bollocks. I am going to say I'd rather go to Mick.
Get your hammer, hit it, flatten it, and then you split it, pull the pith out, and then you've got the stringy outside bit, yeah, of the skin of the store. You get rid of all the leaves and everything, and then so from those stringy bits you plait it, and it's really, really strong.
Okay. Fine.
And you can make soup with the leaves.
Bobby does like that. I mean, what more do you want out of?
Exactly.
I mean, that, again, I suspect people in the past, that's exactly how they made rope.
Yeah, full of iron as well.
Is it?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm still going to go to Mick. And I'll tell you the reason why. I'd like to support people on the canal side.
Yeah,
I'd rather support Mick than me. Nettles.
Foraging nettles.
Yeah. And as for drinking,
it's useful to know, though.
I'm sure it is.
You might need to do that one day.
No.
What if you can't move and you're stuck? What if there's a catastrophe? You're stuck. You've no food. You know you can eat nettles, and there's millions of them. And what if you needed a string? You could make string. What's not to like there? That's great. Soup and string.
So lessons identified today, viewers: nettles, soup and string. Life of a boater. I do think this is a very, very nice boat though.
Yeah, it's cosy, isn't it? And it's really cosy at night because I like my candles, and that candle there in front of the mirror it gives a really, the pattern of it is really nice, yeah. Yeah, it's very cosy.
And so how do you keep yourself fit?
Usually jumping on and off the boat when I'm trying to moor up. I walk. I mean, I don't go to the gym anymore. I used to swim a lot. I used to do all sorts of stuff, but I think I'm lucky. I am quite physically okay.
Well, yeah, and I do you know what, my fitness has improved since I've been on the boat.
Yeah.
Just by doing boaty type life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. I get it. And I always struggle with a bad back, and now less so.
Yeah, mine's miles better.
There's a guy, Lloyd, I used to travel around with. He had a bad back. His back is now better. So I think there's not only the psychological effect of living on a boat, there's also the physical effect because of boaty life. Now, again, I've not met anyone old who's then says my back is knackered because of boat life and I can't do it anymore.
No.
I suppose then they move on land anyway, don't they? Or something or other, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Problem I've got to encounter later on in life. Do you think you'll ever go back to land?
Don't know. I haven't any plans to do that, no. But, you know, I mean,
don't know what you don't know.
You never know.
Yeah.
I'm not like, I never kind of say, oh, I'll never do that. I'm always open-minded about everything, so.
This is more homely than my boat.
Yeah, it's
don't nod your head so in
no, it
such
is
agreement.
definitely. Yours is a man boat. I mean, it's more luxurious, is yours, and it's all very. It's a man boat.
Yeah,
it's grey for a start.
What's wrong with grey?
Well, it's man colour. It's not just grey. It's dark grey with a red stripe, which looks very good. It looks smart.
I get it, but yours is
it's beautiful. You've got a gorgeous
you've got the
boat.
cosy boat.
Yeah.
And it's painfully obvious when you get in it. I thought, well, this is home, innit?
I love you.
And are you going to produce your own little?
I am, yes.
Go on then. What's that about?
I think I'm going to call it Misty and Me because the boat's called Misty. What do you think? Does that sound all right?
Yeah.
So it's going to be about me learning about living on the boat and mastering how to drive it and park it and do all the repairs, but not just about the boat, because I want to talk about my art, and you know, so it'll be a bit arty, and I want to get a dog as well, so that'll be in there, and it'll just be my kind of approach to life. It'd be like a quirky girl boat arty vlog.
Do you know, I think you'll get a lot more subscribers than me, perhaps, to be honest.
Well, obviously.
Isn't she great? I mean, to be honest, what a character, what a find, and it's only by chance that she bumped into us, well, she bumped into someone else, literally, but Dan went to go and help her out and brought her back to where we were, and she's been part of the gang, which is quite nice, but, you know, she's got her own life to lead and going north, and I'm going to continue to go south, and I'm sure if she starts her YouTube channel up, I'm sure it'll be a big success. So when she does, if she lets me know, we ought to give her a little bit of a like and subscribe and all that sort of stuff, which is great stuff. So there we go, another great little interview with another great person, and if you stay to the end, well, thanks for liking, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, all the usual stuff, give it a go, because these are the sort of things I do, amongst others. But next week, don't know, don't ask, I haven't planned that far ahead yet, but until next time, ciao, Papa.